Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Hot.
What a lovely day!
How's everybody doing? Just Watching Movies here, back with another Favorite Friday video. With next week's opening of The House starring Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler, I thought I'd go back and revisit one of my favorite Will Ferrell films. Of course, I'm going to talk about Stepbrothers. I've never reviewed Stepbrothers on my channel, which is very odd because it is one of my favorite films of all time. If you haven't seen my top 20 ranking video, definitely go check that out because it is in there somewhere. Go find out. Stepbrothers stars John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell, two grown-up men whose parents are to get married. They still live at home, but they end up living together and first off, really hate each other. They learn of each other's similarities and interests and ultimately become friends to start Prestige Worldwide, a company that I really don't know what they want to do. They just want to run a company. I remember checking this film out for the first time in the summer of 2008 where I illegally watched it online. I was instantly hooked and enjoyed the vibe that this movie gave, and it always reminds me of summer. Every time I watch this film, even with the Christmas sequences, still reminds me of summer. It gives me a giddy feeling every time I watch this film. And when I watched it at the age of 16, this was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's still one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Stepbrothers is one of the few films that I could watch over and over and over again and still feels like the first time. And when you've done that and you can still watch a film years down the road and still laugh really hard like it's the first time, you've knocked it out of the park. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell are in their element in this film. I think this is the stupidest each of them have ever been in their life, and it just works. These characters are 39 and 40 years old who still live at home with their parents, who manage a fantasy online baseball team, and who got laid off at Petco. They're not going places in their lives, and that calls for a character who's not very mature, and Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly fit that role. There's a lot of potty mouth in here. There's a lot of stupid jokes. There's a lot of cursing.
I will arrange interviews and you will go. This house is a prison!
On planet bullshit!
In the galaxy of this sucks camel dicks!
But it fits these characters to a T because they're immature and they honestly act like they're 14, 15 years old, and they get upset over the most ridiculous things. I don't mind all the cursing and all the stupid jokes because it does feel very fitting to these characters. And it's just not John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell providing the laughs. And there's other people in here like Will Ferrell's brother, the mom, the dad. Everybody has a funny line in this movie that just makes me laugh so hard. And that's what I really appreciate about this movie, is that because from the very first opening sequence to the very last sequence, I'm laughing non-stop. There's not one joke in here that is funnier than the other. Every joke is hilarious on equal parts, and I love it, and I laugh so hard watching this movie. And I've quoted this movie so many times in my life. It is a very important film in my life. Everybody has like Jaws and Star Wars and all that, all those big important movies in their life. Stepbrothers is one of my important movies in my life. I have quoted this movie so much. I've started friendships over this movie. I've said this movie so many times to certain people, and it's a film that I love to watch all the time, and it gets me laughing so much. It has a special place in my heart. It reminds me of summer. This movie is ridiculous. Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly are in their element. They are at their best in this movie, and they are at their stupidest moments in this movie, but it's okay because the story is outrageously stupid and it works on all fronts. Of course, I'm gonna go ahead and give Stepbrothers an A+. I'm super excited to check out Will Ferrell's next movie, The House, coming out next weekend alongside Amy Poehler. Looks really hilarious. I'm definitely excited to check it out. Stick around for that review. I'll also be reviewing next week's Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 for the upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming film. I'm definitely excited to recheck those two movies out because it's been years since I've seen those. Thank you guys for watching. As always, you guys are the best. This is Just Watches Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.